This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back, everyone. Question, who are you? Basic question, but I wonder how all of us would answer that. If you really had to sit down there and explain, this is who I am, who are you? Let's find out who you are and maybe who you've become, because we're always evolving. And she is somebody that helps people move their lives forward once they discover who they are. She's a dream builder coach certified, and that's with the Brave Thinking Institute. She is Donna Andrews, and she's back with us. How you doing today?
I'm great today. How are you?
Really good. And I feel this is a great topic that we're digging into today, because I've often heard that we reevaluate our lives roughly every 5 years, whether we know we're doing it or not. And again, that's a moving target. You know, it could be a little bit more, a little bit less, but we're thinking about it. Like, how did I get here? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Who's this person I'm with? Do they support me? Every 5 years or so. And then I've heard this too, that a lot of times it'll take 2 years to make a decision or to take action. Am I good with it? Or maybe I'm going to change my situation. And that's why they call it the 7-year itch. And I'm curious your thoughts on that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's probably about accurate. You kind of get that little twinge, and it does take you a little while because you really contemplate, you kind of sit with it for a minute, and then maybe you start talking to your friends about it for a little while, and then it starts kind of nagging at you a little bit. And more things start bugging you a little bit more about it. And it takes you a little while before it's so uncomfortable you don't want to live with it anymore. And then you want to it takes a while for you don't want to, it's too unbearable. It's so uncomfortable you don't want to deal with it anymore. It's so uncomfortable you want to change. You're ready to change it.
Hmm. I've traced it back in my life, and I can see where changes took place roughly every 7 years, or maybe in a relationship and challenges presented along the way. And could be just a coincidence, but I got to say, it's like every 7 years. It's almost like a clock going off. And again, I'm not reading into it. I'm just looking at it like, oh, that's interesting. Facts are facts.
Right.
If you're writing them all down, like, oh, well, remember that? No. And then 7 years later, well, that presented itself. Everything was smooth until then. Another 7 years. It's just something to think about. But we're always evolving, right? We're never in one place, right? And that's happened to you, right?
And absolutely. My whole life has been evolving. And if you don't evolve, that's when problems start happening, because if you don't evolve, a lot of times that's what happens in relationships is one person keeps evolving and the other person doesn't. And that's when that stagnation, everybody's got to keep growing and evolving. And because if you don't, you know, that's when problems start happening. Everybody just needs to keep growing and evolving. We all have these life lessons to learn in life. That's what we're here for. We're all here to learn as much as we can and grow to be the best people that we can be, and learn as much as we can. And we have the trials and tribulations that we have, so that learn we learn from those things. As painful as they can be, if we didn't have the painful times, we wouldn't know how happy the happy times were. We wouldn't be able to appreciate them as much.
Mm. Well, that's a really great point. Let's look at that. Where if life was always the same, you wouldn't know happiness and or joy, and you wouldn't know sadness or depression because you have to experience the opposite of that to really know what it is. So yes, you have to. That's why it's an ebb and flow kind of situation. Now you said the word learn. Do you feel that we're here? One of the main functions of being here is to learn something.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm,
I I I personally I feel like we're all here to learn how to love. And there's so many different types of love that I just think that we're all here to learn how to love. And, eventually I think that we're here to learn how to love ourselves. In the end, I think that's really what it's all about is how to learn that the love that we actually seek is the love we find within ourselves.
let's talk about that. It's often been said that you can't move your life forward. You can't really love someone else until you truly love you. It's almost a cliche. It's almost like when you hear that, it's like, but I've discovered it's true. Your thoughts? What do you think?
Oh, this journey I've been on in the last few years it's shown such a light on it for me. I didn't realize how much I didn't like myself. And I really hadn't had a chance to look at myself. I've spent my whole life taking care of everybody else and almost purposely doing that so I didn't have to look at myself and the flaws that I had.
Mm,
And now I purposely do that and put myself first so that I can fix what I don't like about myself.
mm. Um, it's not easy. I believe if you ask 100 people, look in the mirror and say to yourself, "I love you." Most people can't do it. Some people get teary because we would never say the things that we say to ourselves, either verbally or mentally. When we beat on ourselves, look at that. Look in the mirror, like, look at that, like zit over there. Look at that. Oh, wow. You're a mess. Wow. You would never walk up to somebody who you love and say those things. It would never happen. Wouldn't the words would not even come out of your mouth. It's not easy. Is there a starting point to find love for yourself?
Oh, I think just saying something kind to yourself every day. Find something kind to say about yourself.
Mm,
You know, you're 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 nice. You you love other people well. Even if you can't say you're pretty or you're handsome or whatever, you can say that you take care of other people well.
mm,
Find it in how you take care of other people. If you can't find it internally yet, find it how you take care of other people because you are a good person in how you take care of other people. I'm
mm.
sure you do that in an awesome way. And sometimes you have to start there.
I want to share this, and it's been a journey for me to get to that point. And yeah, not that life has been bad, but challenging childhood. We all got stuff going on. Got bullied a lot. Parents got divorced when I was barely even born. And that's was the setup for challenges along the way. And I was working on that journey to find love for myself. And it was probably 2 or 3 years ago. I was at the gym, and I'll never forget the moment. And on a playlist, a song came on. I started listening to it, and it was The Doors and Touch Me. And I liked the song, and I always thought, what a great song for somebody else. What a great song to show your feelings for them. The lyrics, can't sing, by the way. I'm gonna love you till the stars fall from the sky. I'm gonna love you for you and I. And I'm thinking like, wow, that's really cool. And all of a sudden, boof, it hit me. That song was for me to me. That was for me. And it was like not for somebody else, although I always thought it was. But that was a song that came. I picked it and didn't even realize, but I resonated with me, and that was kind of the moment. I was like, "Oh yeah, you do. You're good with you right now." I don't think we realize it. Nobody's gonna love you more, care about you more, have your back, just be there always for you than you. Nobody
Mhm.
on the planet, no spouse,
Right,
no partner, no one,
right,
no one.
right. In the end, it's always just going to be you,
Yeah, yeah,
you
it's the
know.
truth.
So you better like who it is because in the end, it's just you in that box.
It is so true when you say it that way, uh, because relationships come and go. Relationships come and go. Even if
Hmm.
somebody's been married, 20 years, 30 years, whatever, you don't know what's on the other side. You don't know what's happening tomorrow.
Right,
But one thing's for sure, you got you. So
right,
you better
right,
like you. Imagine
right,
spending your life with somebody that you really don't like. Why make that you?
right, right. You need to put the work in,
You got to put the
you
work
know.
in. Good point.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
When we say this work, how do you describe it?
Oh, I think it's discovering what you like. Um, putting time into your spirituality.
Mm,
Um, uh, discovering what makes you tick in that aspect. What do you like to do? What would you like to do if you're still at a working age? You know, what would you like to do for work? Do you want to do a 9 to 5 job that you hate doing? Or is there something that you could do that you absolutely love to do and you can make money at it? You
mm,
know,
mm. Well, isn't that let's open that door. Isn't that finding your purpose? And
right?
that's all part of finding you and love for you. I know many people even have had this discussion that don't know what their purpose is. They're still searching. They don't
Right,
know. And
right,
with that, unfortunately, they feel a little bit lost. Um,
right,
yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy.
right. At the institute, they I have a tool, it's called the time machine, and they look at um relationship, um uh work, your work, your spirituality, and I can't think of the other one right off the top of my head, but um and you can look at all four of those areas and you rate them in your happiness quotient. And if there's an area that is kind of lacking, you can kind of delve into that and build your dream. And that's a tool that I can work with somebody. I can do a class on that.
Mm,
I can do a whole group on that and build a 12-week. I have a 12-week course that I can do a group on, and where somebody can build their a dream and work out their dream. Is that dream that they have worth pursuing? Do they need a bigger dream? It's not quite big enough,
mm,
and where maybe they're not quite happy, but they're not quite sure where they're discontented at either. Just something kind of nagging at them. Um, and so I do have it. That's called the time machine.
mm.
So, that's because, sometimes people are, you know, they're all right. Nothing's really wrong. They're just not quite happy, you know. So I do have that tool in my toolbox too.
Mm.
So,
Well, one thing I think we should identify here when we talk about what your purpose is on the journey to finding out who you are, it doesn't have to be your job. Like many of us, we are work defines us, our occupation defines us, but your purpose could be community service. You donate time, you help people, you enjoy that. That fills your cup of joy. That's great. That could be your purpose.
Right,
Doesn't mean you have to generate income
right,
from it. Could be your purpose could be
right,
being a parent. If and maybe that supports you. But if that feels like it is, make sure it is. That's all. Because
right,
you're always going to feel like something's missing if you haven't nailed what your purpose is.
right. That's a big thing too, is that um there's a lot of people that live in the mindset of lack. And it's
Mm,
not necessarily just in the lack of finances, but just in the maybe lack of love, lack of um I don't know what all, but they just have that lack mindset, and so they're always searching for something. There's always something that's lacking,
mm,
and y- you got to kind of change that mindset. They're always chasing after either the almighty dollar,
yeah.
and it's not all about that dollar. Once you stop chasing the dollar and you start appreciating and showing your gratitude. I know you say you have the gratitude that you do every morning, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah, writing a gratitude
Um,
journal. Forgot to do it today though. Feel guilty, but day's not over yet.
that's right.
Yeah.
Um, the the once you start expressing your gratitude for what you have, that abundance starts coming in because the um uh the universe then is knows that you're thankful for what you do have. So then you're not set in
Mm.
that that lack mindset kind of goes away when you're showing your appreciation for what you do have.
Um, you said the word searching, so I want to share this because it's been a little yeah, it's been impactful for me. I don't watch TV a lot, and I've been finding myself before bed listening to songs, listening to really looking at the lyrics of music. That stuff I. It's funny I mentioned the Doors before. I'm going to mention another group, Chicago. Um, I just been listening to music before I go to bed, and really looking at the lyrics and songs that I've heard forever. I also have played music on the radio, still do. Played these songs a million times. Like I must have played 9 million songs on the radio over the years. And there's one song that popped up recently, and it's called "I've Been Searching So Long" by the group Chicago. Came out in the '70s. Was a pretty big hit. And I always thought that that was about, if you look at the lyrics, I never really looked at the lyrics, but I always thought it was like, I've been searching so long to find someone, that person, right? The song's not about that.
Mhm.
The song is, I've been searching so long to find that answer. What's the answer?
Oh,
Who you are, why you're here. That's what the
right.
song's about. I played it like 10 times, like, oh my gosh, that's what that's about. I highly recommend even just looking at the lyrics. It kind of opens your eyes. If you're on a journey doing the work, check it out. I'm not, everybody likes different music. Um, yeah, it hit me pretty hard. Like, oh, that's what that's about. And what are we doing? We're searching
Yeah,
for the same thing.
yeah,
All of us are.
yeah, for
Mm.
sure.
What else can you share in terms of doing the work that can help move our lives forward? Any other things that's we talk about journaling and things like that. What else would stand out for you?
Yeah, just definitely journaling if you get a chance to journal. It's so helpful and therapeutic, and
Yeah.
you know, get out in nature. If you get a chance, take your shoes and socks off out in the grass. It's wonderful.
Oh, well,
Ground yourself.
being grounded, right? Exactly. Yeah. And let's say this: most people just like, we're going for a hike. What's that going to do for me? Try it. You don't know how you're going to feel. And there's a reason that many of us say need to get back into nature, need to feel nature again. You know, when you think of it this way, we're nature. Like we think we're separated and we need to be in the woods. We're nature. We're animals. Hello. We don't consider that. It's like a separate entity. And that is why I believe that we resonate being in the woods, being by trees, being grounded, all of that, because we're also nature.
Right, right. A couple of years ago, I for the longest time could never be without, I could never stand being in the silence. I always had to have a TV or a radio or something on for the noise. And a couple of
Mm,
years ago, I dated a guy and he loved to go fishing. And we would go out. He had a paddle boat and we'd go out in this paddle boat and sit in the middle of this lake and go fishing. And it was all I could do, just sit out there. But by the end of the summer, I really loved just sitting out there in the middle of the lake in the
mm,
quiet.
mm.
And it was the greatest gift. It was the best thing that I could have gotten out of this relationship was the ability to sit in the stillness. And I still enjoy that to this day. It's just to be able to sit in the silence. And and now I do the meditation.
Yep.
So, I
You found the secret,
really,
Donna.
yeah,
You
the
found the
secret.
secret.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
right there with you. I
yeah.
like kayaking, and as you're talking, my brain is saying to me, "You're going by from this point to the end of this weekend coming up. It's been a few weeks. I need to
Hmm.
go.
Yeah,
No, I mean that. I need to go. I will get
yeah.
that done. I have somebody I know wrote a couple of books, and it's just pictures, and it's pictures of benches, like park benches and places to sit. And the name of the book is called Sitting in Silence. And she wanted to just share the tranquility, the just the magic of just
Oh, nice.
places where she sat. And when you look at them, it's very artistic. When you look at photographs of just a bench,
Right.
it's kind of cool. And then then you think about what that would be like sitting on that bench, in silence, in silence. And final thought, I want to throw this to you here. I think I've shared them in a men's group, and we support each other. We do community service and such. And one man was talking about, and he's very strong-willed, and he's just like got some stuff going on. And a couple of us said to him, "Have you ever sat in silence by yourself?" And he thought about it. He's like, "No, I never did that." And we looked at him like, "You need to do that immediately. You need to do that. You're just even driving somewhere. I'm near a beach. I can just drive to the beach. I sit there for an hour, start the car up, drive away. It's like, oh, I feel better. I have clarity. Pieces came
Mhm.
together. And this is a lot of what you provide. How do we connect with you, Donna?
I have a new website. It's called rediscoverwhoiam.com.
It says it all right there. It says it all. Rediscoverwhoiam.com. And with that, again, we're always evolving. So what you thought was you 5 years ago, it's not you. And for that, that's a good thing. It's all part of the journey. Thanks for being here
That's right.
today. Thanks for sharing everything. Really appreciate it.
Big discounts if you call and book with me. I'm giving 50% discounts right now.
And that's coming from a certified dream builder coach. Dreams come true. Thank you for doing that. And thanks for being here. We'll catch up next time. Okay.
All right, thank
Appreciate
you.
it. We'll be right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.